The already turbulent landscape of coalition politics in South Africa was shaken yet again when Gaytone McKenzie, leader of the Patriotic Alliance, PA, and Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, declared that he would resign from his cabinet post and pull his party out of all governing coalitions with the African National Congress, ANC. The dramatic announcement followed months of escalating tensions, mutual accusations of disrespect, and festering grievances over how agreements were being implemented, particularly in Gauteng. For McKenzie, the breaking point had been reached. In his words, the PA could not continue to dine at a table that serves disrespect. The decision is more than a personal resignation. It represents a strategic withdrawal from coalition arrangements at multiple levels of government, national, provincial, and municipal, where the ANC has relied on smaller parties like the PA to secure control and legitimacy. Since the formation of the Government of National Unity, GNU, after the 2024 elections, the ANC has faced the challenge of managing multiple coalition partners, each demanding recognition, portfolios, and influence. McKenzie's departure lays bare how fragile those arrangements truly are. At the center of the dispute is a series of incidents in Johannesburg, where the PA initially celebrated what it viewed as fair recognition of its influence. In coalition negotiations, the party secured two important positions in the mayoral committee: human settlements, roads, and transport. The PA argued that these posts would allow it to deliver real change in communities that had been marginalized for decades, particularly colored communities in Johannesburg who make up a large part of its support base. Yet the sense of victory quickly unraveled. In a gesture to maintain coalition stability, the PA gave up its human settlements portfolio to the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP. That left roads and transport, an area with massive service delivery implications. Here too, complications emerged. Kenny Kunena, the PA's deputy president, was installed as member of the mayoral committee, MMC, for transport, only to become mired in controversy. Kunena's outspoken style, coupled with allegations about how he was handling the portfolio, drew sharp criticism. When pressure mounted, he was removed, sparking anger within the PA. Although Kunena was eventually cleared of wrongdoing, his reinstatement never materialized. The ANC's Gauteng leadership, according to McKenzie, dragged its feet and allowed Kunena's removal to stand despite the coalition agreement. For McKenzie, this was a betrayal. The insult deepened when the PA nominated Liam Jacobs, another of its rising figures, to replace Kunena in the transport post. Mayor Dada Marero, an ANC stalwart, reportedly refused to swear Jacobs in, citing concerns about his supposed inexperience. For McKenzie, this crossed a red line. In his telling, coalition agreements are meant to guarantee that each party has the right to deploy its own people. To block Jacobs on subjective grounds, he argued, was an act of disrespect, a direct undermining of the PA's agency. In his resignation statement, McKenzie drew a sharp contrast between principle and expediency. He said the PA was not in politics merely to hold positions or enjoy cabinet perks but to fight for dignity and respect. We have made compromises for the sake of unity. We gave up portfolios for the greater good. But we cannot accept being told that our leaders are not good enough, that we must swallow humiliation for the sake of staying in government. That is not why the PA exists, he declared. Beyond portfolio disputes, McKenzie pointed to service delivery failures that had left ordinary people suffering. He highlighted water shortages in communities like Westbury and New Clare, where residents endured days without supply. To him, the ANC's failure to respond decisively was compounded by its treatment of the PA as a junior partner without real influence. We cannot continue to sit in government while our communities suffer, while our people cry out for basic dignity and we are told to wait, to be patient, to accept being sidelined, he said. The announcement sent shockwaves through coalition politics. The PA has played kingmaker in several municipalities, and its support for the GNU has lent credibility to President Cyril Ramaphosa's attempt to craft a broad-based government after the ANC's poor showing in 2024. Without the PA, the ANC's majority in some councils and metros could be endangered, leading to instability or even a reshuffling of administrations. Nationally, McKenzie's resignation from cabinet creates an embarrassing fissure in the GNU, raising questions about whether the project is sustainable. For McKenzie, however, the choice seemed clear. He issued a 7-day ultimatum to the ANC: reinstate Kunena or watch the PA walk away. When the deadline passed without action, he followed through, saying he would vacate his ministerial office by Tuesday. We are not afraid of being outside government. We are not desperate for positions. We are here to serve our people, and we will do that in opposition if we must, he said. The ANC has so far responded cautiously. Officials in Gaytone insisted that decisions about portfolios must be based on competence and credibility, not just political agreements. National leaders, meanwhile, have emphasized the importance of dialogue, suggesting that efforts are still underway to persuade McKenzie to reconsider. Yet the tone has been markedly less conciliatory than in previous disputes, leading analysts to suggest that the ANC may be willing to call McKenzie's bluff. If so, the result could be a prolonged standoff, with neither side willing to appear weak. Political analysts see McKenzie's move as part of a broader strategy to consolidate the PA's identity as a party of principle. By leaving government on grounds of disrespect, the PA can distinguish itself from smaller parties often caricatured as opportunistic. McKenzie has long cultivated an image of being brash, uncompromising, and willing to sacrifice power for dignity. His resignation reinforces that persona. It also allows the PA to return to opposition benches, where it can criticize the ANC without being constrained by cabinet discipline. Yet the risks are significant. The PA has built its momentum in part by leveraging positions in government to deliver visible benefits to communities. Without access to state resources or influence, it may struggle to demonstrate impact. Voters who supported the PA as a vehicle for local change may become disillusioned if they perceive the party as walking away from power. Critics already argue that McKenzie is more interested in theatrics than in governance. Leaving cabinet, they say, is a stunt that undermines the PA's credibility. Supporters, however, view the move differently. They see it as evidence that the PA cannot be bought, that it stands for dignity over convenience. In colored communities in particular, where resentment over decades of marginalization runs deep, McKenzie's stand may resonate. The narrative of refusing disrespect from a larger party taps into long-standing feelings of exclusion and inequality. By withdrawing, the PA signals to its base that it will not allow itself to be treated as a subordinate. The development also highlights the fragility of coalition politics in South Africa more generally. The country's shift to a multi-party environment has created opportunities for smaller parties to wield outsized influence. But it has also exposed deep challenges in managing egos, expectations, and competing visions. Coalition agreements often look neat on paper but become messy in practice, especially when questions of deployment and service delivery arise. McKenzie's departure illustrates how quickly partnerships can unravel when trust is eroded. The consequences may reverberate well beyond the PA and the ANC. In municipalities where coalitions are already tenuous, the withdrawal of even a small party can cause instability. Council votes may be reshuffled, budgets delayed, and service delivery further hampered. Nationally, the GNU may struggle to maintain coherence if more partners follow the PA's example. The image of unity, already frayed by disputes among coalition members, could collapse into open conflict. For McKenzie personally, the resignation is a gamble. As minister, he enjoyed a national platform and the resources of high office. By stepping down, he forfeits those advantages. But he gains the freedom to speak without cabinet constraints and to campaign vigorously on the theme of respect. His critics may dismiss him as reckless, but his supporters see him as bold. In South Africa's volatile political climate, such boldness can pay off. The ANC, too, faces dilemmas. If it caves to McKenzie's demands, it risks emboldening other coalition partners to issue ultimatums. If it stands firm, it may lose valuable allies and destabilize governance. Either choice carries risks, and how the party navigates them will shape its reputation in the era of coalition politics. As Tuesday approaches, all eyes will be on McKenzie to see if he follows through on his pledge. Given his track record of dramatic but calculated moves, few doubt his resolve. If he resigns, it will mark the end of his brief tenure in cabinet and the beginning of a new chapter for the PA in opposition. For South Africa's coalition politics, it will be yet another reminder of how fragile alliances are and how quickly they can crumble when respect is in question.